So you want to become a better support? Well, you've come to the right video. In this one, I'll be going over 3 key factors a great support needs to have. These will be awareness, building, and last but not least, positioning and movement, possibly the most important of the 3. Now, for those that want a lesson on mechanics, you've come to the wrong video.
Oh. Dumbass.
Now, with that being said, for those that don't know me, I'm a former SEC support player. I've competed with and against the top players in the game, holding the Grandmaster title throughout my time playing Smite 1 and reaching Demigod here on Smite 2. These 3 factors, as well as mechanics, are ones I've always tried to focus on building up on my path to becoming a better support player. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. To start us off, let's go over positioning and movement. The positioning portion depends on your character. I break supports up into 3 major categories: frontline supports, backline supports, and midline supports. Every support can play the midline role, meaning positioning themselves in the middle of the pack, whereas frontline positions in the front, these would be your engage type supports like Kabrakan, Yamoja, and Ares. Your backline supports are ones that are going to be positioning in the backline, more in line with your carries to peel and protect them. These would be supports like Khepri, Ganesh, and Afro. The way you should be positioning in a fight comes down to which type of support you're playing, and this is defined by your character's kit. For example, Kabrakan is a great engage support because his kit is set up as such. You have a wall to trap enemies in, your 1 and 2 are both stuns to initiate a fight, while your 1 is also a great tool for getting you in there with its speed boost and slow immunity. Your passive and your 2 passive make you a very tanky target, allowing you to effectively get in there with minimal damage taken. This doesn't mean Cab can't peel either, and I'll talk about that more in the awareness portion of this video, but this kit means Cab should be starting the fight, taking space, and setting up the potential first kill. Someone like Khepri has the tools to start a fight, but they're much better used on peeling his allies. The pluck is a great way to peel someone off your carry. 2ing your allies allows them to take 30% reduced damage for the duration, and is a great fight tool. And if all else fails, Khepri's res is the saving grace to keep the fight going. All of these tools are best used for your allies, making him a great backline support. It doesn't mean you can't use them on the enemy, but they're best used on your allies. And this is why positioning matters, because if you're in the right position, it sets you up to make the right plays to help you win a fight for your team. Now, positioning isn't just about fighting, but it's also about map play. Where should you be during what stage of the game? This is a question a lot of players have and one I've been asked quite a bit. The answer is there is no one size fits all. Everyone's going to be playing a bit differently. For example, PBM style is going to be different than Genetics' play style, which means their positioning will be different too. But I can tell you how you should be thinking about it. In most metas, I've always considered dual lane to be my top priority, meaning I position mostly on this side of the map. The 2 main reasons for this are because I believe the ADC is the deadliest ally late game, and if I can help facilitate his growth, will be better for it. This also means I'm not siphoning as much farm from my mid laner, which allows my mid laner to get more farm. The second reason is because of Gold Fury. A good rule of thumb is try to position around objectives. What objective is up within the first 10 minutes of the game? Gold Fury. This means there's no reason for me to head over to solo lane, because if I'm spotted there, the enemy just does gold. It also means if I apply enough pressure in dual lane, then we've created an opportunity to get the Gold Fury ourselves. Now when Pyro's up, guess where I'm positioned around the map? You guessed it, mid lane. I want to be next to the objectives as much as I possibly can to allow myself either to start the objective or disrupt the enemy team from trying to get it. This is how you should be thinking about positioning around the map. Focus on the objectives. Movement is another really big gameplay mechanic that doesn't really get talked about. Movement is the ability to get into and out of scenarios in the most efficient and best way possible. It sets up plays, allowing both you and your allies to capitalize off of them. This also goes hand in hand with awareness. What tools on the map where you're currently positioned can you use to your advantage? For example, in dual lane, if I'm fighting, I'm using the minion wave to body block. These little humans are absorbing damage, buying time for me to get my cooldowns back up, or they're buying time for my team to come over. I'm using them to make myself harder to kill. You can do this with the environment as well, playing Ring Around the Rosie around an object, or even just putting on the juke shoes and embarrassing the next guy that dares look at you funny. Movement is a key mechanic the greats have down. You can directly both see and feel this if you've ever climbed the rank ladder. Players are just harder to track because the higher you go, the better their movement gets. And as I mentioned earlier, one way to get better at this is awareness. Now, awareness is the second key concept, and it's the ability to be aware of your surroundings and react to them. We just talked about how awareness can lead to better movement by being aware of what you can use around you. This is also true for positioning, by being aware what objectives are up. where the enemy team is located. You can make the best decisions on where you should be positioning yourself. Awareness can also lead to key opportunities in a fight. We talked earlier about the different support categories and how even though each character has a kit that prefers a certain style, like frontlining, they can still play the other styles. We'll use Cab as an example again. His kit's great for engaging, but Cab is riddled with CC. He can also peel pretty damn well. Your awareness in a fight tells you how you should be positioning in that fight too. For example, if you engage a fight with Cab, maybe you get a kill off that engage, maybe you don't, but you notice the enemy jungler has gone onto your backline and your carries can't follow up off your engage. Then you need to be aware of that. Turn and help your carries deal with the jungler by peeling for them. Your engage only works if there's damage to follow up. So you need to prioritize, and being aware of that is going to help allow you to make the best decision you possibly can. One thing I do to make myself more aware is I'm trying to consistently look at the map, even during a fight. Your map is your 360-degree vision around a fight, and it'll help you see things you otherwise wouldn't be able to. Make sure you tweak your map to your liking, one where you can easily see it, but at the same time, it's not too distracting to where it's messing with your mechanics. Your map is literally your #1 tool to making you more aware. Most players just don't use it as much as they should. Last but not least, we have building. This has been a debated topic for so long and will continue to be debated for as long as MOBAs exist. What is the best build to go? How should I build? Are all questions that are asked time and time again. Players go to build sites and just copy other builds, not learning what they're actually doing. Listen, this might work for some other primitive roles like mid and ADC, but support is the hardest role to build for in the game. This is because of all the variations there are in this role. Your building will change from game to game if you're building effectively, because you're building on your character, your team, the enemy team, and what stage of the game you're in. My advice when it comes to building is by building without copying, but learning from each item. Now, it's completely fine to reference other builds, and maybe even a good starting point for a new meta, but if you want to become good at building, that comes from experience and understanding the items and how they relate to both your character and the game you're in. Let's use Cab as an example, as he's been a pretty good one for us in this video. Cabrakan is a frontline type support that wants to get in there. He relies off a CC to start a fight. This means you want to build him tanky with some cooldown as well. Now, what items complement this style and his kit? Spirit Robe is fantastic for this because when you get CC'd, you get some form of healing and increased protections, making you even tankier. Oni Hunter's Garb is another fantastic item because as an initiator, you're walking into their team, so Oni stacks won't be a problem for you to get, and it complements your passive because it's percent damage mitigation and so is your passive. So you're adding on these two effects, making you an insanely tanky powerhouse. Stone of Binding is another great item because you have so much CC, you can abuse its Prot Shred passive and use it to its fullest extent. Hexstone is also a great item on him because you're getting cooldown, but also an engage tool or even an escape tool if things go wrong. These are all great items on someone like Cab because they complement his style and his kit. This is the way you should be thinking about items as it pertains to building. On someone like Yamoja, I always go Spear of Deso because the passive allows her to snowball a fight and spam her abilities even harder. On someone like Ares, I always prioritize cooldown, like Freya's Tears, because his chains are the best part of his kit, and you should have them up as fast as possible to be the most effective with them. Learning all of this comes from experience playing the character and videos like this that help teach you about the characters and the game, where I can use my experience, my success in helping you learn and understand how to play support better. So try to work on these. Next time you're playing, ask yourself what items complement my kit or are effective against the enemy team. How am I currently positioned in relation to the objectives that are up on the map? What character am I, and what does that mean for my positioning in fights? How can I use my surroundings to stay alive as long as I can? These are all the kinds of questions to ask yourself and act on while you're playing. These are the kinds of questions that'll help you grow as a support. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Now get out there and climb the rank ladder. I expect to be playing against all of you very soon.